So, I thought I'd tell this story for those of you that are watching this. Thank you. I like to write. I like to tell poems and stories. This one seemed a bit too personal to do it that way, and I wanted to tell it in person. Something that may be left behind for if something bad happens. Let's put it that way. This day that we're having today, cloud covered, rainy. It's been raining for the last 3 days. Kind of cool. I put on my hoodie. And the hoodie I chose was David Gilmour. So the story I wanted to tell is about David Gilmour. So I had just been diagnosed with heart failure when my brother told me we were going to go see David Gilmour in New York City at Madison Square Gardens. So it was a long wait because the tickets went on sale early, and so the months and months went by. I was wearing this vest around my chest that was connected to a battery that would shock me back to life had my heart stopped. Remember, it was only pumping at about 20%, which is very low. So I wasn't really that hopeful that things were going to turn out that well. But I was determined to go see David Gilmour. So the day came, and we hopped on a train with a few other people that were going with us, my brother's friends mostly. And the train ride was fun in the beginning. It's an 8 or 9 hour ride, and the seats are comfortable, but sitting for that long, the hips hurt, back hurts, stuff like that, just normal wear and tear on the body. But I was very sick, and my brother's knees were bad. So the two of us struggled going there. They fortunately had my brother's favorite beer, Dogfish Head. So he had a beer like that real early. He was happy about it. He took me to the dining car, and we got what they called a hamburger. And it was expensive. But it was good, because we were having this adventure. And for the longest time, me and my brother didn't really get along for reasons that are unimportant now. So, on the way there, I was taking video of outside the train, of pictures of my brother, and I wanted to document the day because, again, I didn't think I was going to make it through. And I was happy with this. I knew that I could pass happy that my last day with my brother was on a way to see a musician I think is one of the greatest of all times. So when we got there, we met up with some friends that drove there, and we all went to a steakhouse. Now, this wasn't any normal steakhouse. This was something special. It was connected to the concert hall, Madison Square Gardens, the very famous Madison Square Gardens. This steakhouse was unbelievable. To give you an example, my side dish of mac and cheese, I think, was close to $30. My steak, which I chose the most expensive, of course, was unlike anything I'd ever eaten. It was so tender. It was delicious. I mean, I think the steak was like $75. The bill for the whole day, I forgot how much it was, but I think it was close to $400. More than that, I think. My brother would tell you how much, because he paid for me. And each of the guys paid for themselves. I think he covered a little bit for another friend, stuff like that. But it was amazing. Great meal. I've never had anything like it. So we left there, and fortunately, Madison Square Gardens connected right to the steakhouse. And since we had tickets to the show, there was a special entrance. But we didn't go that way. We walked around, as I remember, looking at New York City a little bit, not to get too far because I had my cane and I was tired. So we eventually made it to our seats, early of course. We went and had a beer, I think, and a Coke. And we sat in our seats. A perfect view. I think it was like the second deck or first deck, I can't remember. And eventually the show started. And it was amazing. The light show was incredible. David Gilmour sounded like he was 20 years old again. It had been his birthday a few months earlier. I think he was turned 70. And had pipes on him that could sing any of the songs he chose to sing. For the final song, of course, it was Comfortably Numb. And they all put on sunglasses because the halogen lamps that were on the stage, besides all the other lights, lasers, everything going for that song, because that's a good song. And his solo at the end almost made me cry. I'll tell you that much. I think I may have even cried, because as a guitar player, this was awesome. Just awesome. They all had sunglasses on it because it was so bright on that stage, it would burn their eyes. It was amazing. We headed out of there after the show, and we went to Madison Square Garden. We went to Grand Central Station. And we waited all night long for our train home. It was hard because the seats were just plastic seats, like any other place. And it was a long 8-hour train ride there, show, and then waiting all night long for the train home. Finally, it was time. We got on the train, and we went home. I remember thinking in the beginning of the ride, because I was hurting so bad, it was hard to catch my breath.